Hello. Hello, everybody. My goodness me. Literally from the other world. How crazy is that?
Hi.
How's everybody doing? My lord. Let's see. Let's see if I. Well, I do recognize some names and I do recognize some faces. So lovely to see you all. So, Jing, over to you. I've never done one of these before. So, yeah, I'm just looking. The glare on my glasses, I look ridiculous. Let me just take them off. I think that's better. Then you can see my face at least. There we go. So, how does this work exactly? Or do we have to find somebody brave to ask the first question?
Yeah, so I have a list and I'll run down the list.
Fantastic. Okay, well,
Yeah.
let's go for it.
Let's get started. So, Alison, would you like to ask the first question?
Oh, sure.
Well, first of all, I have to say, Alison, you have some of the most...
What? No.
Oh, there we go. I
Yeah.
have to say, you have some of the most colorful Instagram trolling I've ever come across.
I'm not gonna lie, you were not supposed to watch all of the stories, just the ones that you were tagged in.
Most
I
impressive.
saw that, I was like, oh.
People always say, oh, if you tag a person, it comes up in the feed as message requests. So it's like, oh, so yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm like a 75.
Not at all, hilarious.
I have no idea how things work. Questions. Ooh. Hold on, I have some on my phone. Oh, I'll bring one up. The question that I posed in my Instagram story, who would win in a fight, you or Billy Joel?
Well, I mean, apples and oranges, I dare say. And I mean, he is substantially older than I am. But I don't think it would be who would beat whom. I think it would be who would be able to complement the other better. I mean, I think the idea of a piano duet with Billy Joel would be the best thing ever, quite frankly. In fact, and I can tell you which one I'd want to do. It would be the Root Beer Rag.
Ooh.
Because I actually know that one.
Is that Street Life Serenade? Is that the album it's from?
That's the one, bravo. And yeah, hopefully you could end up in some sort of duet. That would be amazing.
I'll do my best. I will put in a good word.
Deal.
Okay.
Any other questions from you?
Well, right now I'm no thoughts head empty, so probably just keep it moving.
Well, you're in and around, so if it pops up, let us know.
All right.
Great.
Yeah,
Over to you, Jing.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Alison. Can we have Chai Hui next?
Me? Oh my god. Me?
Yes.
Okay. Jonathan, do you have any famous...
Well, first of all, are you in Korea?
Yes, I'm Korean.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. My question is, do you have any famous phrase or sentences that you often think of when you are having a hard time?
One of my mentors, his name was Ian von Memety. When I was growing up and I was going through some really difficult times, my mother had passed away. And he said to me, there's a wonderful saying that I want to share with you because he'd gone through tragedy himself. And the phrase was, "This too shall pass." And it basically just boils down to the idea that good times and bad times never last permanently. So as much as, you have a good day than a bad day, both of those end. And it'll be different tomorrow. It might not be miles better, but it will be different, and eventually it will be better. But this too shall pass is my absolute favorite. Another one that I'm generally saying out loud now, just as a placeholder really, is if somebody says something funny, I will say, lol. That's not my favorite thing to do for some reason. And then if they say something serious, I'll be like, oh, lol. So I find it's a very versatile word, lol. So that's become my favorite. I'm thinking of having a t-shirt made with lol just on my shoulder, so that as I walk away, they just see lol as I walk past. That's kind of where I'm at the moment. So thank you. A most impressive library behind you, I have to say, my goodness.
Thank you. I don't know if we have Chen Ping because some of the name are different.
Sure.
Hi, it's me.
Hi.
It actually pronounced more like Wen. Never mind.
So where are you calling from?
I'm from Taiwan.
Oh, well, ni hao.
你好. Yeah. I have prepared the question that is more related about the Phantom because I'm not sure if I can ask you something that is personal.
Yeah, your question, go for it.
Yeah. Besides the Phantom of the Opera, there's another show is that Love Never Dies. And how would you describe the personality differences of Phantom in these two plays? Like the father, the behavior, like in Phantom of the Opera and in Love Never Dies.
Well, you see, this is quite a contentious issue because before he passed away, Hal Prince said that the two are not related. You know, that's what he always used to say. And when I worked with Megan, who was the first Christine we had on the tour last year, year before last, she'd done both. So she was able to talk about Christine in terms of the differences. And, you know, from what I gathered, as much as possible, the creative team wanted it to be the same Phantom, just 10 years later. So whilst I don't think they're necessarily personality differences, I think that his heart is a bit more broken. He realizes that he is now a father, a real father. He's not pretending to be Christine's father. He's now Christine's partner, and they have, you know, they've created a child. So from that point of view, I think he'd be a bit wiser. He suddenly, you know, when he realizes that Gustav is his son, he does say everything shall be his. So I think he learns better generosity. You know, at the end of Phantom, he lets Christine go, which in itself is an act of generosity. But now he wants to let everything go for his son. So I think the biggest fundamental difference is he's pretending a lot less in Love Never Dies. And then, of course, I mean, spoiler alert, you know, with Christine dying at the end, I think that really, you know, he's actually brought right back to where he was at the end of Phantom, where he's left alone again. You know, so I think he has a journey where he grows and then goes right back to that feeling. But this time, he's not necessarily alone with the monkey, he's alone with his son. And I think that's a really interesting journey. But I still battle to put the two side by side as a story. Musically, I think they sit side by side beautifully. But there's some things in Love Never Dies that don't quite match up in terms of the Phantom's behavior with Phantom itself. But who knows? Maybe the third version that they're going to send around the world soon will have all of those problems fixed.
Yeah, we are looking forward that maybe we have a chance to see you performing in Love Never Dies.
You know, I'm so happy doing the Phantom of the Opera at the moment. That might change, but I will say, Love Never Dies. The singing is a lot higher for the Phantom. It's a lot more hard work. You know, in the Phantom of the Opera, I'm on stage for 25 minutes or something in total. Love Never Dies. It's a lot more work. So by the time Love Never Dies does come out, I will be older. So who knows if I can sing higher when I'm older? But for the moment, I can tell you, I'm extremely happy to be the Phantom.
Yeah, and we are very happy that we have you in Taiwan like last year. Yeah, I've got 3 cats, and they are just rushing around.
Are those things on the wall behind you for cats?
Yes.
I thought so. Hi. Who is that?
He's got a mask.
Yes,
I call him Batman.
Oh, he's beautiful. He's so chill. He's letting his mom do it. Oh, and he likes kisses too. Amazing.
Okay.
Well, during the course of this meeting, if you have a chance to show us the other two, I'd love to meet them. So we'll see. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chen, for your question. That is a really lovely cat. Diane, do you like to go next? We can't hear you.
Did you hear me now? You heard me now. It's good?
Yeah,
okay.
You might want to speak up a bit.
Okay, gotcha. So first of all, Jonathan.
I'm so sorry. I've got this speaker view on, and it's not even picking you up. Are you speaking through a separate mic, or is your volume all the way down?
Sorry. Okay. Is it better now?
There we go. Brilliant.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. So first of all, thank you for having us. Just how are you now recently?
Well, first of all, where are you?
Oh, I'm from Taiwan. I'm in
Oh,
Taiwan
wow.
now.
Great. How am
Yeah,
I?
yeah,
Well, as you can see, I'm a bit sunburned because I've been in the bush for a week and a half. I was able to have a holiday, which was really, really
yeah.
cool.
I
Um,
mhm,
but I have to say, I was speaking to a friend of mine
yeah.
this morning about how weird it is to be back in my real world, because you tour around the world and you're kept safe and you're kept in this bubble, and then you come back home to South Africa, and I mean we're mostly fine here, but I'm not used to not working. So I have to have a project, otherwise I get so bored. And well, we're having this, we're on a break now until we start the tour again. Details to come, but it's strange for me to be normal, if I'm honest. So I'm having to
Mhm.
find all sorts of projects to do. I've redone my grand's apartment. I've been doing DIY. I've reorganized my storage unit with all the costumes and sets from the shows that I've done in South Africa over the years. I've managed to see my friends and actually see Johannesburg at night instead of performing every night in a show. So that's been amazing. But I'm itching to do some sort of performance-based project. So when this offer came along to do a meet and greet and to sing, I jumped on it. So it's a long answer to a very short question. I'm okay, but I want to get back to work. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so speaking of projects, do you have any projects that you're recently doing right now? I mean, in spite of your apartment renovation, and by the way, it really looks nice.
I'm
But
on
how about
chandelier. Check it
some
out.
music, or are you planning? Yeah, it's really beautiful. So, do you have any projects that you're working right now?
I
I mean, on
I do.
music, or I don't know, maybe your traveling plans?
You want to know where Phantom's going next, don't you? Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Everybody does. I I'm about to release another album, actually. Well, not release. We're going into the process of another album, um, which we'll be posting about soon. So I've got that to keep me busy. But aside from that, I'm working on another concert, which will be really, really cool. Again, the details of that I can't really give you just yet, but it's one that somebody suggested in one of my Insta lives when I was in Taiwan. So if you troll back, you'll
Wow.
find. Somebody gave me a really good idea when I was in Taiwan, so I'm going to be doing that. Where, I can't tell you, but I've got that. And then, funnily enough, I've been doing lots of voice in South Africa, as well as a TV. I've got 2 TV adverts. So, oh, my screen just changed to somebody else. Where have you gone, Diane?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm here. It's all right now.
There you are. There you are.
Yeah. Okay,
So
perfect.
yeah, interesting things, but Phantom is such a part of my life. When I don't perform it for more than 2 weeks, I start to get withdrawal in a funny way. So you can basically call it's all distraction, but very, very cool distraction.
Yes. So, are you thinking about maybe collaborate with other singers, maybe?
In what way?
Maybe in a duet way, or maybe you want to try something different in music.
Well, you see, the thing is, I'm not a fan of online concerts,
Yeah.
because I think the magic of a concert is actually seeing somebody live in front of you right there.
Yes.
And I think it can be a bit overdone now, because everybody's doing digital concerts, and to do a split, if I see one more split screen, I'm going to throw my computer, quite frankly. And I think we're all so close with these vaccines flying out and numbers going down in many countries, where we're getting so close to actually kicking this thing. If we wait just a little longer, I really do feel Zoom and split screen will be 2 words that are made illegal very, very soon.
Mhm.
Do I enjoy performing with other performers? Absolutely. And duets, I've got a whole long list of duets that I'd love to be able to do with singers, male and female. So yeah, certainly not averse to that idea. But I want to do it live. I want to do it live.
Of course, we want to see you live as well, right?
Mm.
And so I don't want to take too much time, but for a personal request, actually, I got the email on January 25th, and which was my birthday. So I was wondering maybe if you could sing a birthday song to me. I'll be very grateful.
If you see the song that I have planned, there's something really cool about that because I've never actually performed that one before. So, in terms of birthday songs, can I tell you a secret?
Sure.
The number
We
one
love
song
secrets.
that I absolutely detest is Happy Birthday, because when I was younger, we have a restaurant in South Africa called Spur, and it's like a steakhouse. And when you go there and it's your birthday, you know, my mom and dad would always tell them, "Oh, it's Jonathan's birthday." Every time we went, every time. So whether it was my birthday or not, I had the entire crew of waiters come to the table, and they would do this, "It's your birthday," and they do a whole birthday song, and they go, "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to." To this day, whenever somebody starts singing Happy Birthday in a room and they bring a cake, I leave. But I've never told that story, so I tell you, let that story be my birthday gift to you. Because when I sing Happy Birthday, I can't do it. I'm just Happy Birthday to you. And I always do it in the lowest key possible, because people always sing Happy Birthday. They start it way too high. Because they go, "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you," and it's already a bit high. "Happy birthday," and then they always crack on the top note. Drives me crazy. It drives me insane. So that's my feeling about Happy Birthday.
Okay, you got me.
I'm glad.
Okay, gotcha. No problem. But it's an extra performance. Yeah, thank you for having me. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, DM. Can I ask Elsa to go next, please? Elsa, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, Elsa.
Hello. Hello, Jonathan.
Hello.
Please.
Do I hear a cat in the background as well, Elsa?
I'm the one who gives you the red days in Taipei.
Ah!
Hello.
Now, you know, that was left for me at the hotel as I was leaving.
Do you like it? Do you like it?
It's absolutely beautiful, and I tell you what, it's with my trunk, my trunk with all my Phantom-related memorabilia and stuff that travels with the show. So it'll be in my dressing room at our next stop. So thank you. So where did you find that?
My friend buy it from USA.
Wow, it's
my friend buy it for
so
me.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And my question is, you celebrated Christmas in Seoul last year.
Yes.
Is there any Christmas that impressed you during the world tour or in your hometown of South Africa?
Well, you know, for the last 2 Christmases, I've actually been in Korea. The first Christmas was 2 years ago in Busan. And then the second Christmas was in Seoul right now. And both times, okay, let's say hello to your cat. I'm distracted here. Let's see that cat. That looks like a beautiful cat.
Okay. Oh, that's beautiful. Hello. Hello.
Oh, he's a big boy. My God.
Yeah. Do you like? Hello. Say hello.
Beautiful. Adorable. Brilliant. Yeah, so both Christmases, there's the tail. I'm actually finished. Both Christmases, we were able to get proper turkey dinners, and they went to such amazing lengths to give us a traditional Christmas dinner.
Okay.
And both times, you know, I had the most wonderful time with family and friends who've become like family, I should say. And both times it was snowing. So I've always dreamt of snow over Christmas because it's too hot in South Africa for that to happen. So I finally got a white Christmas 2 years in a row. So who knows where I'm going to be at the end of this year.
Okay. You are so charming today.
Thank you.
You are so charming. Hope you can go to Taiwan again.
That would be, I'd love to. I really had a wonderful time in Taiwan, and I was grateful to have a little bit more than 6 days. You know, when I was there with Evita, we were only there for 6 days, and we were in and out. We performed at the National Theatre. So to have 2.5 weeks this time was a real treat, because I could actually explore and go out and see. And then, of course, performing in that arena was just incredible.
I hope can go to your concert in Toronto in July. I hope to.
Well, that's postponed.
Yeah,
That's
Toronto.
postponed. That's not happening at the moment.
Okay.
Because the theatres in Canada are only opening in September, and I'm not available then. So we've had to move that to next year.
Okay.
Yeah, you should, if you booked a ticket for that, you would have received a notification already.
Is it delayed?
Yes, we've postponed it to next year.
Okay. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Elsa.
Excuse me?
Yeah, can we have Anya next, please? Anya, are you there? Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I want to ask you, like,
Hi.
one of your interviews. Hi, Jonathan. I'm from
Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Amazing. Third. Amazing.
And in one of your interview, you said that you connect with the Phantom in a different way every time you perform. Can you talk about it? Can you explain what it means?
Well, they're different aspects. You know, there's so many emotions and so many aspects to him that some days when I've had a really wonderful sort of carefree day, I really dig into that euphoria he feels when he plays his music, that morning after music of the night, and how excited he is to see Christine. Some days when I've had a particularly grumpy day, I really dig into those moments in the final layer, and I really feel the anger that he feels. Some days when I'm feeling, you know, a bit sad, because you do get homesick on tour a lot, then I can really dig into that, because in a way, the role of the Phantom for me is very therapeutic. So depending on what you need to sort through because of the day that you've had, you can actually have like therapy performing the role at night. And, you know, the audiences always respond differently, and you can always feel a different energy. And, you know, when I was in Seoul, for instance, it was the longest run I've ever had of one character in the same theater. We went for something like 22 weeks solid. I've never done that in my life. And whenever I felt that I was getting a little bored, not of the show, but bored of the routine, I would message a friend of mine in New York who I worked with during Evita. She was a choreographer, and she would give me a keyword. And I would use that keyword to color my performance for that evening. So some nights she'd send me sassy. So the Phantom would have a little extra flick when he throws his cape off, he throws his hat. Or she'd say, you know, contemplative. And then some nights, you know, the Phantom would be a little bit more thoughtful and a bit more introverted. So it's really fun in that way to do subtle changes that only basically the Christine and the Raoul would pick up. Never the audience. It's always the same show. But it just keeps you on your toes as an actor, because I think it is possible in long runs to get a little stale. So I do my best to use different ways of approaching the role to keep it fresh. And the writing is so strong that you actually can.
And we hope to have you back in Taiwan again.
You're very kind. I really would. You know, I'd say the best thing about my job as, you know, being part of the world tour is I'm in South Africa, right? So I'm at the bottom of the globe, far away from everybody. Traveling is so difficult and so expensive, and the paperwork you need, because everybody hates the South African passport. The idea that I get to go around the world and see the places I've always wanted to go like Taiwan, for instance, or South Korea, Malaysia. I'd always wanted to go to. Singapore and the Philippines I'd been to. Dubai I'd never performed in. Tel Aviv, for goodness sake, it's been incredible. And now that I've been able to go back to certain countries again post Phantom, I really want to keep doing that. So I'd love to come back to Taiwan somehow. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I heard there was an outbreak locally at a hospital with COVID.
It's controlled now, I think, because
How many cases was that? Do you know?
I think like 7 or 5.
Do you know how lucky Taiwan? No, not lucky, because Taiwan's worked damn hard. But do you know how amazing it is to hear there was an outbreak? How many? 5 or 7? An outbreak in South Africa is like 10,000. So that just blows my mind to hear that. So, okay, good. So you say it's under control?
Yeah, but because we don't have any local transmitted cases in 5 days, I think.
Or is it 5 days again? Amazing.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. Well, who knows? If it keeps up that way, maybe they can make an exception for people who are not Taiwanese to come into Taiwan, and we can see.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ting, for your question. Gillian, would you like to go next?
Hello.
Hello, Gillian. Where are you from?
I'm from Alabama in the US.
Oh, wow. Okay. What time is it there?
1 in the afternoon.
Okay, it's not ungodly. I'm sorry, I'm just noticing how pink I am. I look like a lobster. Please, everybody, forgive me. This is ridiculous.
So my question was, how do you decide what songs to put on your set list?
Oh, that's actually such a cool question, because people think you just throw them in a hat like Scrabble and hope for the best. So the overarching thing with a concert for me is something that I learned from Sammy Davis Jr. And he had a whole thing where he said, never let the audience wonder why you're singing a song. It should always be clear why you've chosen that particular song. So it has to be personal. It has to be relatable to the audience. And because my genre is musical theater, it has to make sense out of context. Because what I generally like to do is I like to get a whole bunch of songs together that tell a completely different story every time I do a concert. I never want to do the same concert over and over again. Because I think, if there's a recording of it or a DVD, the audiences in those other countries, they know what the concert is, therefore you're not bringing them anything new. And I love the idea, whenever artists come to South Africa, for instance, they always do different set lists just for South Africa. And I'm sure they do it just for America, and they do it just for Britain. It's always kept nice and fresh. So for instance, case in point, the latest concert I did in South Korea, the opening number was Journey to the Past from Anastasia, because I had just been there and I just had the most wonderful time in Korea. And I loved the idea that the lyric told the story of how I felt about coming back to Korea. So stuff like that, I like to keep it so personal and relatable. And I also love to sing new stuff every time. I mean, I'll always do, the Les Mis and the Phantom and the Cats and, the mainstays. But I love to sprinkle, like for instance, we actually had a duet called Lily's Eyes from, do you know The Secret Garden?
No.
Do yourself a favor. It's a musical by Lucy Simon, who is Carly Simon's sister. And I think it was 92 or something on Broadway. No, I think it was late 80s, early 90s, somewhere around there. Mandy Patinkin was in it with Robin Westenberg. And it's where Daisy Egan made her debut. And it's a whole story about this garden in a house. And this little girl comes in and she wants to make it grow again. And the whole story focuses around that. Anyway, the duet is called Lily's Eyes because the two male leads sing it. They're both brothers, and they both happen to be in love with the same woman. Scandal, right? But she's passed away. So the one brother, Archibald, married Lily, but Craven, the other brother, wished he'd have married Lily. And then they both sing the song because the little girl is the long-lost daughter. So she reminds the two of them of their long-lost... I mean, you want to talk about a song in the heart. It was amazing. And the producers initially were nervous because they said, people might not know the song. And I said, that's when you should sing a song. Because if you have faith in the material that it will connect with an audience, they feel it. And they don't care that they don't know it, as long as it's sandwiched between two songs that they know. So from that point of view, if I were to do a bullet point, bespoke set lists for every country that I play, new material that I've never done before and that I think the audience would enjoy, old material that I'm either known for singing or that I know they love hearing sung, and it must be directly relatable to my life, that I can actually, because you know, I like to talk between songs. I want to make sure that that speech that I have between numbers is genuine from the heart and truthful. So there's a lot of my own personal stories that come into it to relate a song or why I'm singing a song. And then top of that list, songs that the audience never question why I'm singing.
That's so cool.
I hope that makes sense. That was a long, long answer. I got really excited. But yeah, that's how I feel about concerts. Because you know the other thing, if people are now, we're at the stage where people are going to come out of hiding once everybody's vaccinated and there's herd immunity and we're all fine. I think one of two things is going to happen when the theatre comes back. And please hear I'm saying when. We're either going to have like this explosion and there's going to be a phoenix effect and there's not going to be enough theatre for people to see because they want to see everything. Or it's going to be like groundhogs when they're coming out and then there's another, 6 weeks of winter because they're too scared to come out. So we have to make sure that what we have on offer in terms of concerts is justifiable to have people come out of their home and take a chance in sitting in a theatre again. There's a lot more responsibility this time round, which I'm very excited about, but I think we have to be aware that there's an added expectation now. But I'm sure you're going to head to the nearest theatre as soon as it's open, right?
Probably.
There we go. Thrilled. Amazing. Thank you for that question, Gillian. People don't ever consider why, in terms of what songs go into a concert. So thank you for that.
Thank you for your answer.
Awesome.
Thank you, Gillian. Joy, would you like to go next?
Hi, my name is Joy. I'm
Hi, Joy.
from the Philippines.
Salamat po.
Thank you. All right, so I can.
Tell me if I'm wrong. That is correct, right?
Yes.
It's one of my favorite things. Everywhere I go around the world, we stayed at the Diamond Hotel when we were in the Philippines, right? I'm getting really comfortable now, so now I'm just telling stories left, right, and center. I hope you don't mind. We were in Dubai, and a few of the people that worked at the hotel were Filipino. And I remembered when we were staying at the Diamond Hotel in Makati. No,
yep.
Malate.
In Malate, yeah.
They would always greet me with the same greeting, sir, ma'am, sir. Because they would, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. And the minute I heard sir, ma'am, sir in Dubai, I was like, oh, salamat po, there's a Filipino here. Where are we? And it was so amazing because, again, with this tour, I've got to know different cultures as well, and cuisines and greetings and slang. And I have to say, every country I've been in so far, everybody is so keen to teach me a swear word in their own language. So I'm thrilled. So I'm not
swear words, I think, are the first ones that you're going to learn, isn't it?
So yeah, so lovely to see somebody from the Philippines. The Philippines will always hold a special place for me because it was the first international city that I played as the Phantom when I was 25.
Okay, we would love to have you back.
Amazing.
All right, so everyone's been asking a little bit serious question, so to speak. So I've seen that you're wearing the proper coat and polo shirt. So are you wearing like slacks pants or just your normal loungewear? I mean, this is the thing about Zoom meetings nowadays.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. Am I wearing pajama bottoms under this? Well, I was prepared to stand up because I've actually got my trousers and everything on because I was prepared to stand up at one point to perform. So I've got proper trousers on. I've got a proper belt.
Okay, because that's what's going on with all of the Zoom.
Oh,
actually,
all over the place. Newsreaders are the absolute worst. Before Zoom, before COVID, newsreaders were only dressing on the proper.
True. With 20 of the Zoom meetings that I've been for the X number of days that 20, it's just 29, right? 29 days of January. About each and every session, there's always someone who's wearing pajamas, and I was like,
yeah,
mind blown. Anyway, so my question.
I was at a dinner party earlier this week, and this exact topic came up in terms of how people have lost, not pride or anything, but they've lost all of that presentation because there's no need. And sometimes people just have a black screen. You're lucky if the cameras
True.
are on these days.
True.
So it's funny to me that, you know, once Zoom is gone and we have to go into the office, are people going to remember how to dress? Are we going to have people coming to work in pajamas again? You know, we have to work through it. Otherwise, there's going to be a new fashion trend of, you know, casual wear that looks like pajamas and slippers. That's the next step. But no, I feel you. No, I got fully dressed up for today. So
Thank you. All right. So another one is, what will you be working as if you're not a theater actor? I mean, I'm just curious.
I would probably be a teacher.
Really?
Because in a way, a teacher's an actor as well. It's 8 full houses a day, you know, 8 full shows, because teaching's performance anyway. But I think ultimately my favorite thing about the theatre itself. Oh, I've lost you, Joy. Now I'm looking at somebody else here. I think everybody except Joy, mute your mic. Let me
Oh,
find it. There we go.
It's okay. I still have you. Okay.
It's a funny thing. Education is very important to me. I think because I never had a university education as an actor. I learned on the job, and I learned whilst I was doing it, as I was going along, that I think it's very important that if one can be part of education in some... I actually did a few classes last year with Broadway Weekends at Home. And I really enjoyed that aspect of doing master classes and learning by teaching. Because I think when people bring all sorts of issues or problems or queries to you, in your search to find the answer, you learn as well.
True.
So it becomes school for the teacher as well. So yeah, I think I'd end up being an English or history teacher. That would be my favorite. And I think I'd end up being like, you know, Robin Williams in Dead Poets Society. I'd be that mad teacher jumping on a desk and saying, "Captain, I captain," and all of that stuff. Because I love poetry as well. So
fantastic.
I think that's what I'd be.
All right. I think that's all for me for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, what time is it where you are?
Oh, it's 3:12 in the morning.
Thank you so much for staying up for this. I really appreciate that.
Night owl. So normal hours for me.
No, what you should say is, yes, I'm exhausted, but I stayed up. You take the credit. Lie, take the credit. Thank you so much, Joy.
Thank you.
May I ask your surname?
It's Sunit. It's Sunit.
Oh no, you see, I know another Joy of Villanueva.
Oh no.
I thought maybe you were the same one. We've spoken a few times on Instagram, but all good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joy. Can I have Kayla next?
Would this be Kayla Manfred? Aha! I remember you. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Good,
Well, I guess that was already asked.
Background. Love it.
Oh yeah, that was the first time I went.
Brilliant.
So how did you picture your future early on in your career? Is it anything like it is now?
I don't think I thought it would happen to the extent that it has. I knew that I would force my way and become an actor of sorts, and I'd be on the stage, but I thought that, you know, I'd be very successful in South Africa, and then that would be it, and it would probably dry up, and I'd have to find a normal job. I don't think it ever occurred to me that I would be doing concerts, because when I was younger and dreaming of being part of the theatre, I was always dreaming about being part of the theatre playing somebody else. I never dreamt about being part of the theatre being myself when I do my concerts or when I teach or that sort of thing. So certainly I never thought that I'd be the Phantom around the world at all. You know, I thought maybe I'd get lucky and I'd fill in on Broadway for 2 weeks when they couldn't find anybody else. But I never suspected it would be like this. But I think the world's changed as well since I was 7, dreaming about being part of the theatre. The way that the world is so connected now that, you know, somebody who was the Phantom in Soul, for instance, can come back and do a concert, a solo concert with an orchestra in a beautiful concert hall to sing musical theatre. I mean, that's amazing to me. So yes, I knew I'd be an actor. I had no idea what was in store.
I'm also really happy to hear that the Toronto thing isn't completely canceled. I was really looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, no, it'll never be cancelled because Zach Mansfield, who is producing it, is very determined, and so am I, because I've always wanted to come to Canada. My friend does a lot of the jazz festivals in Toronto, especially. And what he's described to me is just amazing. And I also have a few friends in Canada that I want to see as well. So certainly not cancelled, but it will be probably the following spring, just to be safe.
Thank you, Kyla. Why am I frozen?
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Ella?
Hi, sorry, I was frozen.
No worries.
Yeah, thank you, Kyla. So can we have Q Yo next?
It's probably very late where she is. I hope she hasn't fallen asleep. Is she there?
Okay, I'll move back to her next. Okay. So can we have Yu Jia next instead? I think you're muted.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Yuji.
Oh, hello. Me? Oh, sorry. Me?
Yes, I think, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm feeling so nervous now.
Don't. Where are you right now, Yunji?
Taiwan.
Taiwan?
Hi. Yes, Taiwan.
Isn't it late? Isn't it late at night?
Oh. 3. Huh?
3 o'clock in the morning. My goodness me.
Yeah. So sorry. So sorry.
What's your question?
Okay. I have a question. Is if you could time travel, where would you go?
I mean, a lot of people say that I was born in the wrong decade. They said that I should have been born in the 1950s because I think a lot of the clothes, the way I dress in a way is kind of the way it was in the 1950s. The way I do my hair, is pretty much like it would be in the 1950s. And I think the way the musical theater was back then, the shows that were on Broadway were my kind of shows as well, because I love the old classics. So probably 1950, I'd want to go back there. And I also think the world was a completely different place because there were no cell phones. So I really, yeah, 1950, I'd say.
And do you know Chinese New Year is coming?
Yes, it is, because am I correct? It's the year of the bull.
Can you say 新年快乐 to everyone?
I could try.
Sorry.
No. All right, let me try.
新年
快乐.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yes.
Done. Nailed it. I need to learn some more Mandarin, I will say, and a whole lot of other languages as well. I need to become a little bit more conversational. What I find very difficult about the various languages that I've come across lately is it's so subtle. To my ear, it's so subtle, and the tones and everything are so difficult for my ear. But I just need to find a good teacher, and then I'll be out for a way.
Okay.
Thank you, India.
Thank you.
Can we have Matilda next, please?
Hi,
Hello, Matilda. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Goodness me, I don't think we've ever spoken properly, have we?
No, we haven't.
We've done Instagram, we've done email, we've
Yeah.
done, I think we've even done Facebook at some point. But even when we do
Yeah.
the classes, I never really see you. So nice to finally talk to you.
Yeah, I'm a bit shy, so it's hard to try and find my voice.
No, please.
But yeah, I'm really glad to properly talk to you.
Yes, well, thank you so much for being part of this. Nice to properly meet you. There we go.
Yeah. So you've talked about the tour and everything, and everything's gone.
Yeah.
I'm from France, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay. But
Yeah.
now, correct me if I'm wrong, aren't you in Switzerland?
No, I've always been in
Oh, no,
France.
sorry. You're in France. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm confusing somebody else. Yes.
It's okay.
How is France doing in terms of the numbers, by the way? I've got lots of friends who are trying to get back, but just can't.
Yeah, well, it was so good, but now it's going down again, and the numbers are going up.
Are people
So,
not following the rules?
it depending, but
Yeah.
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 So
I
we're
so.
probably going in lockdown again sometime soon. So
Oh, wow. Because, you know, I really hope that Paris, sorts itself out. I have this dream. I've dreamt it twice. That the tour tells us that we are going to be opening Phantom in Paris.
really,
Dream. It's my biggest. I've dreamt it twice.
Mm.
Because in my mind, there are two things that I want in Paris. I want a picture at the Garnier
yeah.
by Box 5 in costume. That's what I want. And I want to see the cast sing Masquerade on the staircase in the Garnier.
That would be.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
So I'm putting it out there because I know you were meant to get Phantom at one point, weren't you?
I was meant to go to Korea to see you.
No. Paris was going to have a production. I think.
Yeah.
At Mogul.
Yeah. We were supposed
it
to have one
Marini?
2016.
That's right. And the theater burnt down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, Paris should have Phantom at some point. So who knows? Maybe it'll be us. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be amazing, really.
Well, I'll make you a deal. If it does, you let me know, and I'm going to give you a backstage tour.
Yeah, definitely. Deal. So, back to questions. I'm going to finally find it.
I'll shut up.
So you talked about how you loved doing the tour, and what?
Well, I love doing the tour. The tour's not finished.
Yeah, you love doing. Sorry. What is it that you like the most from
So, when I first saw Phantom in 2004, I'd only ever heard the CD. Well, the tape, I should say, because I'm old now. I knew the music backwards. I knew every word. I knew every lyric, but I didn't know the songs in context. And I remember things like when, in All I Ask of You, when Raoul gets on his knee, then I realized, oh my God, all I ask of you is a proposal.
Yeah.
And I remember gasping because I was in the front row. I was behind the conductor, and I was hearing, oh! And my friends were like, what? It's like, no, I've just realized what's going on. When the Phantom disappears at the end of the show, I was like, because I was watching, and the cloth was moving, and then he was gone. It's not like the cloth stopped moving, you saw something happen, and then it stayed moving until the cloth, and I was like, so I was such a fan, a PHAN, a fan. And I always thought that I was the only one. I didn't think that anybody loved the show as much as I did, or was as geeky about it, or knew all the details the way I do. And then I did the show, and I went around the world, and I met people like me, who feel the way I feel about the show. That to me has just, and do you know what's amazing? It's people in different countries who speak different languages to me, but the show still connects us, and we're the same. And even now, like whenever, I mean, the wardrobe ladies laugh at me all the time because I'm obsessed with detail. And whenever new costumes come in, so I got a new Red Death costume, right? Now I know what Maria Bjornsson's original sketch looks like. And I was going through it bit by bit going, oh my God, they're actually rosettes the way she originally drew, and the cape is three-toned, and the beading is the right way, and all of that stuff. And you know, Sharon, the head of wardrobe, laughed and she said, "You're just mad about the show. It's ridiculous." I said, "Yeah, I really am."
Mm.
And I know for a fact that I'm not the only one. And the only way that I've got to meet people up close, like now, is because of this world tour that I'm in. You know, aside from the fact that I love singing it and I love being part of it and I love putting on the makeup and I love coming around on the boat, it's the people that I've managed to connect with. In some cases, it's not been great because some people are crazy and they're rude and they can really get my back up. And then unfortunately, I have a reaction because I'm offended. Then they get offended. And then you become the phantom who's arrogant and doesn't know how to talk to fans in their opinion. But by and large, I so love connecting with people who are bigger geeks than I am because I have so much to learn
Mm.
about it. So yeah, the people, hands down.
Yeah, I understand. I have another one.
Go on.
If you could have your own show, I mean, a musical, and you could have your own character, do you know what kind it would be? If you have a dream, what
I'd
would
love
it
him to
be?
play the piano.
Yeah.
No matter what the show is, if I could play the piano in a musical written for me on Broadway and then tour around the world with it, you know, musicals like $1 Million Quartet, the rock and roll musical,
Sorry. No.
The Boy from Oz with Hugh Jackman. What's another musical where they play the piano? Oh, they're playing our song. It was a musical in the 70s. You see, and this is the thing, there are not many musicals where the lead plays the piano. So there's a gap in the market. Maybe we should actually do it. We should find a musical. How about a musical? Do you know Liberace at all?
Mm.
I'd love
Yeah,
a
you
musical
played it,
about
so.
I'd love a musical about Liberace.
Mm.
That would be amazing. To be on Broadway, to play the piano with an orchestra every night. Oh man.
Mm.
So if you know anybody, let me know.
I hope you do that one day, definitely.
Look, the closest I've come to it is, you know, when I play the organ in the show,
Yeah.
I learned exactly what the guy in the pit is playing. So I'm actually playing that in the show. I'm the only person who's bothered to learn the music, but I'm actually playing that. So that's the closest I've come. So hopefully we can do a full musical where I play the piano.
Well, I definitely hope you do.
Wonderful.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Matilda.
Thank you, Matilda. Also, if anyone wants to see a bigger Jonathan, you can hover over the top right corner and click on the three dots and click pin. Then you can only see him. It's just I got asked this question and I thought it might be worth sharing with everyone. Yeah, so can we have Pablo next, please?
Yeah, hey.
Hi, Pablo. Amazing background.
Oh, yeah. Aren't you tired of it, though? Seeing it every day?
You know what? I never see it every day.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're on the other side. That's true.
That's actually our set. That's us.
Yes, I did it on purpose.
Amazing. Thank you for that.
Well, so everyone knows you about Phantom. Well, most people here do. But I wanted to go a bit...
Where are you?
Spain, Madrid.
Most people know me in Spain?
No, most people like here and in the Phantom.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm going to go like a bit more back in time. So I'm going to ask you about Che and Evita.
Yes.
Yeah. So how did you find your approach to the character and your version of Che, which has been played by a lot of people and everyone has done their interpretation? I mean, obviously you had the help of the amazing Hal Prince, but how did you do your own? How did you manage to find your version of Che and how you wanted him to interact with the audience and to tell the story?
You know, initially I did all this research about Che Guevara.
Yeah.
And then on the first day of the rehearsal, I asked if I could wear my beret. And the musical director said, why? I said, I want to get into character. I want to feel what Che felt. and he said, "You do realize that you're not Che Guevara." So the character is not actually Che Guevara. In the script, Tim Rice wrote Che because it meant man, every man.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I thought, okay, so he's got to be able to relate to everybody. So he's like a chameleon. But he's also the narrator, but he's also got like a bit of a showman aspect to him. Because, you know, he puts on accents, he does voices, he mimics the army, then he, you know, mocks the
upper
aristocracy.
class, yeah.
And he's basically like a little clown, but a very angry little clown who could snap at the drop of a hat. So I looked at it and I thought, okay, well, what is the equivalent in modern day times? Because, you know, when they did it in '79, it was Mandy Patinkin.
Oh yeah, of course.
And that was a completely, because, you know, Mandy has a particular voice that sounds like this when he speaks.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'm not going to do Mandy Patinkin, but what was Mandy Patinkin doing? He was teasing the audience. So I started finding out that Che is like a naughty little boy, because he's the only one that can see the audience. And the director said to me, have the most fun you can with him. Be as naughty, be as you know, sexy, be as sassy, be as devilish as you want to be. But always remember that the reason you are there is to make sure that the audience knows what's going on.
Oh yeah.
So with all of that, I just started to play. And the more I played, the more the director was like, this is exactly what Andrew, Tim, and Hal want. This is exactly what they were looking for. And I realized, you know, initially I was so focused on the high notes that Che sings.
Yeah.
It is the singing role. Che.
Yes, that's true.
Che is the acting role. And then I realized it's the best role in the show because the audience loves Che. He's their guy. Whenever they aren't too sure where's Che, he'll tell us what's going on. And I only had one moment off stage, and that was during
Another Suitcase.
No. I was in Another Suitcase.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's true.
During the tango, I walked off. Surprisingly Good for You. I walk off during Surprisingly Good for You. I'm off for like 3 minutes, and I come back and I'm on for the rest of the act. That was so interesting to me because it was a very exhausting role. And then somebody, when we were on tour, came to me and said, you remind me of like a Facebook troll. You know those guys that just put little comments just to create danger? Then they make trouble, they stand back and they watch. That's what Che is. He's a modern day troll.
Oh, wow.
And the minute I clicked into that, I was like, I know exactly what to do. And I had so much fun. That said, Pablo, that is the hardest role I have ever played. I'm including Sweeney Todd.
Oh, God.
Because I was on stage for the entire show. I was exhausted at the end of that run. I love doing it, and I'll always be proud of doing it. But my God, that was a lot of work.
And you had to do 8 shows a week, right?
Yep. They wouldn't allow me to have a rest.
Well, so I did have another question.
Go for it.
You've done Phantom twice with many incredible Christines such as Megan or Clara or Claire Lyon or Caitlin Finney or Kaylee. Well, the list is incredible. Do you find your Phantom portrayal gets changed with every Christine you have, or do you try to keep it in a way neutral?
I think there's nothing more boring than a neutral Phantom, don't you?
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, neutral like...
Phantom, you know, as much as people say the Phantom controls Christine, I think it's the other way around. I think Christine
I agree.
The Phantom. He doesn't realize it, but he's so obsessed with her that the smallest thing she does drives him crazy.
Yeah.
That tells me that she's in control. So when people, you know, I get this question now, oh, in this day and age of Me Too and Harvey Weinstein and all of these guys who've been, you know, horrendous to women, don't you think it's dangerous to do the show now? I'm like, I think it's more relevant than ever because actually she has the power throughout the entire show. And I think if I were to do the same show with Claire that I did with Clara, that I did with Megan, I'd not only be a selfish actor, but I'd be a stupid one, because each Christine gives you different things at different times. Especially in the layers, you know, the first layer.
The final layer. Yeah.
You have a really so if I think back what do I remember? Megan was a very stubborn Christine. Clara was a very sensual Christine. Caitlin is a very innocent Christine. Claire was a very elegant Christine. Kayleigh Voorhees was a very curious Christine. So with all of these words that I'm using, you know, that tells me how I'm acting, because remember, it's a duet. It's not the Phantom and Christine, it's the two of them together. They are the unit.
Of course. Yeah.
And they taught to me different things about the Phantom. The way when they have different Phantoms on with them, those different Phantoms teach them different things about Christine. So it's a symbiotic relationship. And that's another reason why I'm able to play this for years and years and years. There's different Christines all the time. You know, so you're constantly learning different things. There's a wonderful saying, if you want to know what your character's about, see what the other characters say about your character or the way they interact with your character. And when that's changing all the time, you are on your feet, boy, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, totally agree. Well, thanks. Before I shut, I just had to say thanks because, wait, I think I lost you.
No, I can see you.
Oh, yeah, okay. Because when we were like in lockdown, we still had the Phantom tour going on that made us happy. Brought us joy, even if it was just backstage pics and some curtain call videos. But it made us really happy to see that theater was still going on.
I'm so happy to hear that, Pablo, because can I tell you the flip side of that? I was so nervous about posting stuff like that because I knew there were some of my friends back home that were so desperate to work and they missed it so much that they actually took it as boasting. And they took it as me rubbing it in their faces. And I went through a long period where I didn't really want to post those pictures anymore because I thought I was making things worse for people. So to hear that it had the opposite effect really means a lot to me. So thank you.
I mean, I definitely was jealous, but in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't travel and I just found joy in your backstage content and your pictures and everything. So yeah, it was really, really great to have it. And I hope, well, I shouldn't be saying this, but I really hope you have a leg in Europe so I can actually afford to see the show.
I'd love that too. I'd really love that too.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah. Well, like I said to Mathilde, if we do and we happen to be in the same city, let me know and I'll gladly give you a backstage tour.
Oh, of course, I will let you know. Of course, I will let you know. I'd kill for a backstage tour, Phantom.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pablo. Can we have next, please?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Hi, Jonathan.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Oh
let
my!
me show
Sorry,
you my.
You've got a cat.
Yeah?
I saw the cat first. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that cat.
One you made that at Starbucks. Yeah.
Oh, you've got two.
I have 3 cats. They are asleep now.
Hang on. Is that a Mushu Funko Pop?
Yeah, it's a big Mushu.
It's the 10-inch.
This week. Yeah. I got them last. Huh?
You got the little cricket?
Yeah. You hold a little cricket.
Amazing.
Yeah. I bought it last week, so
Brilliant.
I will show you this.
Nice
yeah.
choice.
And I have saw 3 shows of Phantom in Taipei, and it was amazing.
Thank you.
And I also have a.
Oh my God! It's like a shrine.
Yeah, and your sign on the mask.
Yes, amazing.
And my favorite Funko is there.
SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Cool.
And my question is, have you seen the musical Hamilton before?
Yes, I saw it on Broadway.
Oh yeah, and my question is, people say that Hamilton brings a new revolution of musical because it's known as hip hop and R&B, and what's your opinion of this? Because is it really brings an influence to the classic musical or change the way people see the musical?
First of all, Lin-Manuel Miranda is so inspired by the classical musicals. You can see it in his work. A character like King George, that is straight out of a classic musical, if you think about it. That's sort of that type of character. So you can see he's got a bit of a hat tip. I think where he changed things is he made musical theatre music hit the top charts. People were listening to musical theatre music the way they listen to pop music. That hasn't happened since the late 60s, when musicals used to dictate what was on the charts. So I think that's an amazing achievement. Second of all, he enticed a whole new range of young people into the theatre who otherwise would not have walked into a Broadway theatre. They would have walked straight past it. Now they're coming in. Now they're curious. Now they're going to other musicals. So he's actually grown the audience for us. It's exceptional what he's done. Thirdly, what he has managed to do by combining hip hop, rap, as you say, R&B, from all of that, into what we thought Broadway was. He has made Broadway hip. Broadway was seen as something for older people. Now, the younger people say that Broadway is cool.
Yeah.
That means that we have a younger audience that will keep theaters full for many years to come. He really gave the theater an extra 30 years of life with that show. And I saw it on Broadway end of 2019, just before the world fell apart. And I was nervous because I'd heard all the hype. Everybody was saying it's the best show and it's changed everything. And I thought, you will see. It's true. I've never seen young people not on their phones during a musical the way they were at Hamilton. Nobody was texting. Everybody was just watching and having the best time. And you know what they were doing? They were singing along. That's exceptional. I think it's amazing. That said, if I could ever audition for King George, I'd be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I saw an interview of yours. You say you would like to play King George. So yeah. I want to ask you this question. And that's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I hope I can see you in Broadway one day. If I can go to Broadway.
I'd love to be the Phantom on Broadway as well. Don't get me wrong. It's not just King George that I want to do. But if I could have my dream, my debut on Broadway would be the Phantom.
I hope so. I want to go to Broadway and see Phantom too.
Amazing. Well, hopefully we'll be there at the same time.
Yeah, because Taiwan, you come to work tour Taiwan is really amazing. So maybe.
Oh, I love that run. I mean, to perform that show in the arena during the time of COVID was just, I still can't believe that we were able to do that.
And I think this Saturday and Sunday are four shows, right? And they are all sold out.
Most
That's
of the shows
really cool. I never
shows,
saw Taiwan people so passionate about the Phantom of the Opera. Really.
That's amazing to hear.
I think the most reason is you.
Really?
Yeah, because I saw on Instagram and Facebook, they are all discuss about your voice and how you perform Phantom so well. I mean, that's really cool. And because of you, I can meet a lot of people who has same feeling about Phantom, and I can finally discuss with them, and that's really cool.
Well, you see, that's exactly what I was saying to Matilda earlier. That's exactly how I feel, because she's nodding. I can see she's nodding. She agrees. It's true. You meet a lot of people through Phantom that you wouldn't meet anywhere else. It's a magical show. It really is.
Really, really. I want to introduce this to more people. Well, because this is really great. This is really great musical, and everybody should watch.
Thank you for that. So good to see you again, and your cat.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick. Can we have Phoebe next, please? Phoebe, you're muted.
Hello.
Yeah, over now.
Hello, Phoebe.
Do you remember this?
I do. That's in my dressing room trunk.
And this year is my about 8 years I watch Phantom.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and your performer I go to the twice. And,
well, thank you for coming again. I'm really glad you could come again.
And that is my first time crying in the show.
Really?
Yeah.
What about it made you cry?
I don't know, at the final part of the show, and it really touched my heart, and let me recognize the whole show. What is the whole show about, and and what is the Phantom thinking of it?
It's such a beautifully written scene. You know, the final layer. It's so beautifully written.
I love that. I love the that voice and the music in that part.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and the orchestra.
Yeah, and also that is my first time in the backstore. Stage door, sorry.
Oh, a stage door, yeah.
Yeah. And I want to ask a question. How do you practice your voice when you before your performance in the show? How many times you spend in it?
Well, what I do is I do a warm-up for 15 minutes. If I'm not properly warm at the end of 15 minutes, I know it's going to be a difficult show. I don't sing the songs. I just do voice exercises and scales. You know, Bella Signora, and you go all the way down. Those types of exercises. And I only sing "Let Your Soul Take You Where You Long to Be" once. And then that's it. The rest of the time, I save my voice for the show. Because I do think there's such a thing as warming up too much. If I warm up too much, when I get on stage, I have no voice. So that's basically what I do.
Okay. And how long do you have a class when you come on the show? Do you have a class about the voice, or how do you?
Well, by the time we're up and running, because I've done the show for so long now, I have a routine to keep my voice fit. When I'm on a long break, like I'm on now, I'll sing a few times a week, a few songs, just to make sure that everything is still, you know, working. And then if say I'm going back onto tour next week, the week before tour, I'll start looking at the show. And then the week that I'm going into the show, I'll do act 1 on one day, act 2 on the next day, then act 1 and 2, and then a run through, and then I'm ready.
I see. And thank you for having show in Taiwan.
Thank you for coming. It was our pleasure. We're the ones that need to say thank you, not you.
Yeah. Because
thank you very much, Phoebe. I really appreciate your questions.
Yeah, thank you. Because this time my mom asked me if I want to see or not. And
oh yes.
She take our whole family go to join the show.
Oh well, I'm so glad you could see with your family. That's always the best way to see Phantom. Right?
Yeah. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phoebe. Can we have Sarah next, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Where are you calling from?
Alberta, Canada.
Alberta, nice to see you.
It is, I want to say -15 outside.
Yes, I saw videos of this.
Yeah, it's insane. We have so much snow right now. It's not even funny. So
it's like record numbers in certain areas.
Something like that, yeah.
Wow, golly, do you like? Forgive my ignorance. Do you have to like sweep your drive, and are you ever snowed in that you can't open?
Typically, yeah, for sure. I know that I had to go and run some errands yesterday as well too, and I was all bundled up, and I still managed to get a chill when
Oh
I
my
came back. So, yeah.
What do you do if you open your front door and there's just snow there? Like a
Like
wall
you
of
mean
snow.
like right up on the porch? Well,
Yeah.
that doesn't typically happen at
Okay,
my
right.
house
You're
because
right.
we do have like a veranda at the front.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But my grandparents actually live on a farm about 2.5 hours north from here, so they've definitely opened the door some days because their deck is kind of open to the elements, and they'll open the door and the snow will literally like be all the way up to the front. So, but yeah, it's just interesting on the topic of snow, though. I just kind of find it amusing, I guess, how different places in the world have snow days, but we don't really.
Yep.
And yeah.
But that's the can-do attitude, I dare say.
Oh, exactly, for sure. And also, just I really love seeing everybody's cats, by the way. I am a total cat lady. My guys are asleep, I think, downstairs right now. So, but I do have a photo of
Go on.
right there.
Stop it.
That's them. I don't know if you
Are
can
they
see
Maine
them.
Coons?
What's that?
Are they Maine Coons? They look very hairy.
I believe they are part Maine Coon. I adopted them both from a cat cafe here in Edmonton a couple years ago. I think they are a little bit Maine Coon, especially Aslan on the right here. He's got like
Yeah,
tufty ears and
Aslan. What a
everything.
name. Oh,
Yeah,
that's such a great name.
Atticus and Aslan, they're brothers.
Obsessed.
But yeah, no, they're about a year and a half right now, a year and a half. So, but they often, it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. So at around like 11:30 in the morning, they have like this crazy like zoomies like time where they're like chasing each other
I
everywhere.
don't
And then
understand that. My cats used to do exactly the same thing.
and I'm pretty sure they're asleep right now. So yeah,
Let them sleep.
otherwise they would be here with me right now. So I guess my questions for you are, in your opinion, do you think the Phantom is in love with Christine or only obsessed with her voice?
I think the voice is what wakes him up to her presence. Because remember, if he's in an opera house, let's think about this logically. If he's under an opera house, he's hearing voices all the time. And as we see in those notes, he has opinions about Bianchi's voice, Carlotta's voice, even her acting style. So he obviously heard something that inspired him. And I think an artist who is trapped up and all alone, most of us can relate to this, when you see a source of inspiration like that, you go after it. I think he goes after the voice as a musical exercise. He doesn't go after the voice because he's in love with it. He then happens to fall in love with her because the way I play it, she hands him his mask back after she takes it off, and it's that moment. We've actually got a moment in the show we do now. I don't even know if the audience sees or if the director knows that I've done this, but it's something that the Christines and I do. Is when I take the mask. If Christine's holding the mask like, let's see, like this. If she hands the mask to him like that, and can you see my fingers there? And he grabs the mask like this. I do that so that he actually touches her hands. And she doesn't recoil. He literally has that moment where he touches her hands and he looks at it and he realizes, because that music is da 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 da. That chord goes major. So I always make sure that I touch it as it goes from minor to major, because to me musically, that's when he falls in love with her. That's when he goes crazy. Because he's so used to people recoiling from him, and then somebody doesn't, and then what do you do? What do you do now? You know, it's like this is against the grain. This is against what I'm used to. Come, we must return. There's two fools around my theatre. We'll be missing you, and he's off. And the fact that he takes her back and he deflects that moment tells me that it's a bigger moment than what I realized it was.
And then I guess my second question is kind of, I guess, the flip side to this one. How do you think Christine feels about the Phantom? do you think she's in love with him, or is she like, oh my goodness, he's like my stalker, and like, you know, do you think she's like glad to, or I guess I mean, but yeah, just thinking of like the final layer, because she does like obviously tear up, and it is a big emotional moment for her as well too, because he like is her teacher. But do you think at the same time she's like, yeah, I guess, how do you think she?
I think now that the Phantom is a bit younger, that's changed a lot. Because before, when it was an older guy, I think it was a lot more conflicted in terms of, is it love, is it awe, is it adoration, is it idolizing? Whereas now, because the Phantom, Christine, and Raoul in our production are so close in age, it's a proper triangle. I think there is genuine love there, because you know, she says that, but his voice filled my spirit with a strange, sweet sound. In the night, there was music in the night, and through music my soul began to soar, and I heard as I never heard before. He awakens something in her, and I think it becomes addictive to her. She wants to go back to it. She wants to experience it, but she's also scared because of what she sees and what she sees him doing. And I think there are feelings there. And what breaks her heart is that the Phantom finally says to her what she's wanted to hear all along. Christine, I love you. Because remember, on the rooftop, Raoul sings it. And there's a very interesting little geeky thing. Those two phrases are almost identical. Raoul goes, Christine, I love you. The Phantom goes, Christine, I love you. He does it slower. And they're slightly different, but it's the phrase Christine wants to hear. But it's too late. That's what breaks her heart, because she goes, finally, he knows how to love, but it's not right. And she goes, so I think that's, she also, I think Christine is the most empathetic person in the show. Her heart breaks for him several times, and her heart is his several times. And then she has to leave, knowing that she's breaking his heart. And it kills her. She, you know, that shows some sort of conscience on her part, emotional conscience.
For sure.
But I've deliberately never discussed it with my Christines, because I never ever want to play the same intention that they are because they've told me. I want to feel it in a scene. Because some nights the Christines don't love me, and I can feel it. Some nights they're repulsed by me. Some nights they're angry with me. Some nights they are indifferent. And that's what's exciting. We're playing this. There's a wonderful analogy. We all have the same coloring book, and we have the same colors. We just do the colors differently. We do different textures and things, but it's all the same palette. And we're all using the same direction, but we tell a slightly different story every night, which is just thrilling.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy. And I mean, even with like the libretto of the show, there's just, I guess, like with Christine's lines, and with there's just so much room to work with, I guess. That makes sense. Yeah. Thanks so much for answering my questions.
Thank you. Great questions. And say hello to you, to Atticus and Aslan for me.
Oh, I will, for sure.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Can we have Vicky next, please? Hi, Vicky.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hello, Vicky. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me back. Because I almost fell asleep.
Oh,
sorry. Because now I'm in Taiwan. Now it's 3:59 a.m.
Thank you for staying awake. I really appreciate it.
So my question is, I noticed your right finger has a ring. Can you tell us more about the ring? Yeah, I'm quite curious about that.
So this ring was given to me by my Korean producer for my concert in Seoul. And if you look very carefully, it's based on Phantom because it's got a skull there. You see the skull?
Yeah.
And then it's an onyx ring, because the production company that did my concert in Korea is called Onyx Entertainment. So she made this ring especially for me. And I every time I wear it, I think of that wonderful time I had in Korea doing the concert, and hopefully more to come.
Oh, okay. So next question is, how do you reveal pressure when you have a full schedule?
Yeah, that's a difficult one because I take my work very seriously, and I like to do everything at 100%.
Mm.
But I've had to learn that you just can't. You know, with life, with Phantom, with my friends, with my family, you can't approach everything at 100% every single time, all the time, because you'll burn out. So I've learned to pick my be very careful with my time.
Mm.
I've also learned to breathe a little bit more before I react. I respond, I don't react. There's a difference between the two. And as I've been saying this to you, my Apple Watch has just said breathe.
Mm.
So it just shows you everyone's listening. But I think more than anything else, I focus on what keeps me happy and what brings me joy. Otherwise, I start just working for working's sake, and I don't work to make myself happy, and then I can't be happy, and then I can't do my job. So it's a cycle. So I think ultimately it's about figuring out where I want to put my energy, whether I want to be, you know, happy, if I really want to enter into an argument or deal with somebody who's being rude, where do I want to put my energy that it'll make me happy? And that's what I just focus on every day, day to day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. Can we have Yating next, please?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello, Yating. Yes, I can.
Yeah. Hi. My name is Cheryl. Cheryl. Cheryl.
Oh, Cheryl. Yes. Yes, we spoke on Instagram.
Yes. And I draw a picture I want to share with you. I try to imagine that if the chandelier can speak, the conversation might be like this. Can you see clearly?
Pull it back slightly for me. I'm the real protagonist. It's a very good point. I think it's a very, very good point. Between Chandelier and Phantom, the helicopter in Saigon, and the barricade in Les Mis, those are the real stars of those shows. That's very, very funny.
One day I get up and I did this image and into my brain, so I draw.
Well, I think it's very, very smart. Thank you.
And I am from Taiwan. And next year I see your performance at the third day. So my question is, how does your personality help you become an actor?
Golly. I think my personality is quite needy. I think on some level, being an only child, I crave people's approval. I crave their attention. I want to make them happy. I want to make them laugh. I want to make them cry. I want to make them think. I think I want to make sure that I have a difference in other people's lives because I'm scared I won't be noticed. So as an actor, there's nothing I won't try. I'll go as far as I can and even further to make sure that I get that connection with an audience. Because I love telling stories and I love pretending I'm somebody else sometimes as well. As much as I say I enjoy being myself, you know, something like the Phantom, for instance, when you put a mask on and people can't see you, you can do whatever you like because it's not you. You know, it's like, you know, when children dress up for Halloween and they put masks on, there's no accountability. They can be as naughty as they like and you don't know who it was. I think that's the same for an actor. And whether you are wearing a mask in Phantom or a different kind of makeup for another role or a different costume, it's all, in a way, it's kind of like armor, if you think about it. You know, the soldiers put armor on to protect themselves. I think an actor does exactly the same thing with makeup, costume, or a mask. And my personality is such that I'm hugely insecure, and sometimes to get over my shyness with people, I will make a joke, or I will tell a story, or I'll perform to put a little bit distance between them and me so that I feel safe. And then as time goes by, that distance gets smaller and smaller until I'm myself, and then everything's fine. So as an actor, that really works in my favor, I think, because I'm used to pretending.
Okay, my next one question is, what are the biggest similarities and differences between you and the Phantom?
I express a lot of my emotions through music. I share that with him. I have a temper, so I can get angry very quickly when I feel somebody has disrespected me. Sometimes that gets me into trouble. Sometimes it doesn't. I can be obsessive. Like, for instance, my Funko Pop collection is over 600 now. I'm so obsessed with them. I think I share that with the Phantom. But more than that, I think I share the Phantom's fear of people. Like, after a show, when I go stand on stage door, I am so nervous because I've just done a show and I'm exhausted and I'm vulnerable. And then everybody wants to come into your face and sign this and do this and that. And I so love that they are wanting to show their appreciation for the show. But I'm so, I have such anxiety socially that I think I share that with the Phantom. And the other thing that I share with the Phantom, I don't know if you can see, but over there, I don't have a monkey, but I do have a little replica of the child from The Mandalorian. So I have a little friend with me in my lair. I'd say I share that as well.
Okay, my next one question is, which one of the roles you have played is most like you? If you can choose a character to describe yourself, you will choose which character?
They're all so different, but they're all mostly villains. So I'm scared to say that they're like me, because then what am I saying about myself? Probably a combination of Joe Gillis in Sunset Boulevard and the Act 2 Phantom, not Act 1, the Phantom in Act 2, the last scene.
Okay, thank you, Cheryl. Can we have Yoni next, please?
Yoni?
Hi, can you hear me?
I'm waiting to see you. Hello, Yoni. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. That's a surprise.
Is it?
Yes,
So
wonderful.
nice to see you. Oh my goodness. Well, I have a couple of questions. Well, first of all, we miss you so much here in Korea.
Thank you. I was just
We
there.
really miss you. Still, we miss you so much. Well, you're always on some sort of project, and I admire how you're always super motivated. Well, procrastination is my middle name, so I think it's incredible
Don't get me wrong. I procrastinate the same as anybody else.
You do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So my question is, how do you always stay so motivated?
So I look after my grandmother. I have a very, very small family, and it's up to me to keep her well looked after. She's 82. She has diabetes. She has a heart condition.
Mm.
So she needs a level of care that I have to maintain for her. So half of that is I have to keep working very, very hard to make sure that she's safe and that she's kept well looked after. The other thing is, because my family is so small, I really enjoy making them proud.
Mm.
So being the last, I don't want to say I'm the last hope of my family, but majority of the people in my family have not been particularly successful, if you understand what I'm saying. So the fact that I can be successful and kind of make up for that in a way makes me feel really, really good. But it's a lot of pressure. But at the same time, if you're doing something that you really, really enjoy, I mean, were you at the concert? I can't remember. Yes, you
Yep.
were. Yes,
Yeah, all of them.
I'm talking about the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The first performance.
Yes, I was
You were-
sitting like right in the middle of the first row.
Okay, cool. So,
Mhm.
because I can't remember, was that the first or the? It's all such a blur to me. But that first performance on the 2nd of January, when I came out and I started singing Stars, it was so emotional for me because that's kind of how I feel in my family sometimes. On my own, looking after them, but never being able to be with them because in order to look after them, I have to work overseas. So whenever I do procrastinate, I do snap out of it very quickly because I have a job to do. But I've kind of become addicted to it in a way. Just the constant work. I don't know what to do when I'm not working, even if I don't have to work. Because the reality is I probably wouldn't have to work too hard for the rest of the year. I could just, live. But I need to. I'm used to it now. I'm like the Duracell bunny, Have you seen Jersey Boys?
Mm-mm. No.
There's a character in Jersey Boys that does a speech about being the Duracell bunny going on and on and on. That's kind of how I feel.
Mm. Wow. Well, oh, I bet your family is super proud of you.
I hope so, dear Lord.
So, well, my next question is, can you share a little bit about the single track you recorded on your last day in Korea, like when it's going to be released?
So I was contacted by a guy called John Riley, and he said to me, I'm a lawyer, but I also write my own songs. And I thought, okay, what does this mean? And he said, would you mind coming into a studio and singing some of my music? And I thought, well, you know what? And it was the week off that I had between Seoul and Daegu. So I wasn't doing the show at night, so I could actually sing other stuff. And he played me some of his music, and I was like, this is really good. And he's written like 25 songs, and I've recorded most of them with him now, because when I was back in Seoul now, I met up with him twice. And we laid down so many tracks, and then that final day, and as I say this, I forget her name. What was her name?
The lady?
Yes. I'm just going straight onto Instagram right now because I don't want to get it wrong. Lena Chung. She's a musical theatre artist, and he said there's a duet that I want you to record. So we met up and we recorded it, and they've mastered it into this amazing song. But the thing is, it's in Korean. So she was kind of teaching me Korean in between, and whilst my Korean isn't fantastic, I got through it, and I was really so proud. It was such a challenge, and she was so lovely to work with because she's got perfect pitch. And yeah, it was just one of those things that came my way, and I had the option to record a song, and I thought, I'd had such a marvelous time in Korea. I wanted to have my last day doing something Korean. So I sang in Korean, and I was very pleased.
And we're super excited to hear it.
Yeah, it's going to be released soon, so we're looking forward.
Is it? Ooh, that's cool. And my one last question.
Yeah.
Speaking of you singing in Korean, how long did it take you to learn how to sing This Is the Moment in Korean?
Not long, because it fitted the melody so perfectly. And one of my friends, Jay Kim, he was one of the production assistants, worked with me on it for a few days before the concerts. And the first two concerts, I was just too nervous because I didn't want to get it wrong. And then that final, you were there the final night.
Yeah.
I was so moved by the whole experience. I was like, I'm just going to try it. And I tell you, it was the most thrilling moment of the concert. And that track is the one of the 3 nights of This Is the Moment. That version is going onto the album.
That is so exciting. And I cried my eyes out when you started singing in Korean.
Oh, no, and then I saw the audience crying, and then I started like getting all verklempt. So it was a thing. I really loved it.
That's all the questions I have for you.
Well, thank you so much, Johnny. Lovely to see you again.
It's so lovely to see you,
I'm
and
sorry
we cannot wait to.
Proper stage door sessions for the concert. It would have been so nice to
I
see everyone.
know, but COVID was so bad.
Yeah, but it was worth it because the numbers are a lot better now, aren't they?
Yeah, it is. It's like 400 something right now, and it was around 1,000 when you were here. So
it was 1,400.
Was it? Oh wow.
It was the highest.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. First week of January was 1,400. Because I thought, oh God, they're going to cancel the concert.
And we got down to 400 somehow.
Exactly. Not somehow. It's because everybody follows the rules. It's amazing.
True. All the mask wearing and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was lovely to talking to you, and can't wait to see you again in Korea real soon.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is it not too soon to come back with another concert?
I think you should come back. I think you should. It's
So
not soon at all. Not soon at all.
Like April?
Pardon?
Like April?
That sounds incredible. Like even February sounds great.
God.
I think you should do it. And I think you should never leave.
I'll talk to Onyx Entertainment and we'll see what we can do.
This
Wonderful.
sounds
Thank you
great.
so much, Johnny.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Oni. Can we have Chai Hui next, please?
Okay, me.
Hello.
Hi. What should I ask for you? Okay. What was the most memorable moment while you were performing?
I think the best thing so far is when we were in Taiwan, the boat went over one of the candles and broke. So the boat stopped. And we were under the portcullis, which is meant to come down. So I did the emergency plan where instead of the boat coming all the way to the front, I got out of the boat, I unclipped it, I hoiked it up, and I dragged the boat down to the middle of the stage, took Christine out, and I put the boat back in position. I dragged it. I felt like a He-Man. And everybody in the wings was panicking. What are we going to do? And then they saw, oh my God, Jonathan's moved the boat on his own. And I walked off stage and I felt like He-Man. It was wonderful.
Wow, that's so amazing. And I just want to talk to you that I really appreciate to you that you reply my Instagram message or the message that I send you lately. Do you remember that about university that I studying for? Yeah, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you.
Is it going well?
Oh yes, I'm studying hard right now. Yeah.
I can see behind you all those books. My goodness me.
Yes, that's all of the books, and I really hope you come to Korea again to concert for the concert. Also, I want at very soon on and after on to 2024. Yeah, on 24. I really hope you come Korea again.
Great. I think it'll be.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have Harton next, please?
Hi. Hi,
Hello.
can you hear me? Oh my God, I'm literally shaking.
Don't. That's a cool wallpaper behind you. Is that your bedroom?
Thank you. Yeah, it's my bedroom. I had
That's
this
really
wallpaper since I was like 7.
That's
so I
really
thought
cool.
I would be kind of embarrassed about it, but thank you.
It reminds me a bit of, have you seen Wicked?
Oh, yeah.
You know Glinda's room
have.
is just all shoes?
I know
looks
what you're
like
talking about. Thank you. Okay, I probably have to calm down a bit.
It's also very late, so I understand.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, okay, I think now's the timing to tell you that I've been awake only for you, Jonathan.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I mean, I can't go to bed when literally my favorite actor and singer is having a meet and greet. I can't just
That's
go to bed
amazing.
like that.
Thank
Yeah. So okay, I'll try to calm myself down and keep talking. Okay, so I have a couple of questions. The first one is, how do you actually keep yourself so calm on the stage? Like, nobody can really notice if you're like getting nervous or something.
Look, when I first started out, I wasn't able to do that. I used to shake on stage, but
Really?
it's just like a skill. You have to learn how to keep it under control. And sometimes
Mhm.
it runs away with you, sometimes it doesn't. But you know, for a role like the Phantom, for instance, you know, when I'm doing Music of the Night, my nerves actually help because if the Phantom is slightly breathless when he's singing that to her for the first time, it actually makes sense in terms of the story. Because if the Phantom is, you know, nighttime sharpens, this is so easy, it doesn't matter. Whereas if he's this nervous, you know, and he's sort of reaching out and he's discovering her. And my favorite moment
Yeah.
is, you know, when I do that and I make
Mhm.
Christine look up, some nights I'm shaking. And I think that just makes it so honest. Because he would be shaking at that point. He's never been that close to such a beautiful
True.
person before, let alone his muse. So
Mhm.
I think I find different ways that it's useful to me. And if it's a character like, for instance, we were talking about Che in Evita earlier, it doesn't
Mhm.
serve him to be nervous. He wouldn't be nervous. So you tone it down. Whereas the Phantom, I can let some of that nervousness out at some points. And that actually
Mhm.
takes some of the steam out of it. So I don't get too nervous.
Oh, understandable. My second question is, how do you keep yourself calm and the otherwise? I mean, like daily life, if you're getting exhausted about something or if you get stressed out, how do you kind of,
I do
yeah,
I
you
do the
know?
rule of five exercise. It's something that one of my therapists gave me, where you choose 5 things that you can hear. Then you
Mhm.
choose 4 things that you can smell. Then you choose 3 things that you can see. Then you choose 2 things that you can touch. And by the time you have one thing, you take a breath in and a breath out. And by working on and distracting yourself with all of those little jobs to do, by the end of that, you're calm. Because I'm prone
Oh,
to panic attacks every now and again. And then I go 5 things, 4 things. And by the time I get to 3, I'm generally already much calmer. By the time I get to 1, I'm fine.
this
That really works
really
for me.
sounds helpful.
Yeah, it's good. It's
I
just
probably should try to
it's about
do.
distracting yourself, quite frankly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. I have one last question and
Sure.
the last request before I finish my, I don't
Yes.
know, conversation with you. My last question is, do you have any kind of specific book or painting, or it could be a play or a musical that really has inspired you, like for your whole life?
Hmm.
I mean, it could also be a movie or
That
something.
is that is such a lovely question, actually. I think the cliched answer would be, you know, the Phantom of the Opera, but it's further than that. I think something like I know what it is. I know what it is. So, do you know what's the name of the show? The first musical I did in school was called Guys and Dolls.
Okay.
And there's a song in Guys and Dolls called My Time of Day.
Mhm.
And in that, the lead character opens up for the first time to the leading lady. It's where they fall in love. And he sings about his time of day. And there's a whole thing where you realize that this guy spends his whole life alone. If you go check it out, Guys and Dolls, My Time of Day. That song, uh, I always used to, it was the first musical I did, and it was my favorite moment in the show.
Oh.
So I'd say,
When,
yeah,
when
go
did you
check that out.
actually when did you actually have your first musical like performance?
It was Guys and Dolls
Is this
in
more
high
so?
school.
No, when in high school. Okay, sorry, I think I skipped it.
That's it.
Okay. And my final request is, I just wanted to ask you if I somehow could hear your performance at Sunset Boulevard again because I heard it last time actually for the first time in a concert in Korea. I mean, I was really lucky. I was really lucky to being able to be there because I'm not really often in Korea because I study in Germany actually. But it was such a nice timing, and I saw your concerts coming in. I was like, okay, I have to be there. And I was sitting there in one of the first rows, and I was seriously like, I got goosebumps, and I was so impressed. I mean, I am actually all the time when I see or hear your performance, but at that moment, it was literally like a kind of like a different feeling. I was really like shocked to hear the song because I didn't know the song before.
Yeah,
as I
it's a
started
beautifully written
singing it,
song, I have to say.
Mhm.
It's one of the hardest songs to learn because those lyrics just go on and on and on. But I don't want to give anything away, but you will be able to hear that again very soon.
very soon.
Yes, watch my social media.
Okay, I was expecting for it.
1st of February.
1st of February.
1st of February. Check out my Instagram.
Can I say just a few things for last? I just wanted to say how much I appreciate you for for all the performances, for your talent, for your passion, and that I really will always be supporting you as a fan. I really do love you, and yeah, I think that's all.
I think that what's the word I'm looking for? Sarangeo.
Oh my gosh. Daniel.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Han, and I think that is the last person. Except if there's anyone I missed, please just shout out now. Yeah, I think we're all good. So Jonathan, I think you thank you for answering all the questions. I think you
had such a
prepared.
wonderful time, and I just want to say I really appreciate everybody having such interesting, different questions for a change. Not like what's your favorite song or what's your favorite costume, or does every Phantom get a different mask? You know, it's so nice with these types of events, and thank you to Stage Door London for doing this because you don't often get an opportunity to really spend some time talking to people as opposed to Instagram is one thing, but one-on-one is completely different. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
And to
Jonathan.
show that appreciation, I hope you don't mind, but I really want to sing a song. I see we have gone on for almost 2 hours now, which is fantastic. But there's a song that I haven't sung in a very, very long time that I'd like to sing for everybody now. For the pure and simple reason that I think everybody's used to being alone at the moment, and we all miss people in a way. So I can tell you right now, I'm not singing anything from Phantom because we've done that more than enough. And I want to, as I was saying earlier to Gillian, I want to sing something different. And I haven't sung this song live yet. So I thought that would be the perfect song to do. So it's from a musical called Company, and it's called Being Alive. And I really just want to leave it with this. So what's great about this is it's off my first album called From the Footlights, and it starts a cappella, and it's one of my absolute favorites. So I'm gonna see if I can fire the track at the right time. But everybody, this is yeah. I'm glad we are able to do this for you now. So I'll start it for you. Someone to hold me too close, someone to hurt me too deep, someone to sit in my chair and ruin my sleep and make me aware of being alive. Being alive. Someone need me too much, someone to know me too well, someone to pull me up short and put me through hell and give me support for being alive. make me alive, make me alive, make me confused, mock me with praise, let me be used, vary my days, but alone is alone, not alive. Someone to crowd me with love, someone to force me to care, someone to make me come through, who'll always be there, as frightened as you, to help us survive. Being alive, being alive, being alive. Someone to hold me too close, someone to hurt me too deep, someone to sit in my chair and ruin my sleep and make me aware of being alive, make me alive. Somebody need me too much, somebody know me too well, somebody pull me up short and put me through hell and give me support for being alive. Make me alive, make me alive, make me confused, mock me with praise, let me be used, vary my days, but alone is alone, not alive. Somebody crowd me with love, somebody force me to care, somebody make me come through, I'll always be there, as frightened as you, to help us survive. Being alive, being alive, being alive. Well,
Well, thank you, Jonathan. That's really amazing.
Thank you so much, everybody. Oh, my hair's gone and everything. I'm all sweaty. I'm all emotional. I think it's important to remember that the theatre is due to people interacting with people, whether you're on stage, whether you're off stage, and a platform like this to really interact with people from all over the world. Really, I mean, I don't want to sound like an old man, but like, what a time to be alive. So all of you that are here, thank you so much for staying up in certain countries, for hanging around in others, and for your constant messages and the support that you're showing, not just to me, but I think to theatre in general, because it will be back soon. And it's because of people that are still holding the flag high like you. So thank you so much. And can we just have a round? Everybody, can you please just put your mics up for me and just give Jing a round of applause? Thank you so much for chairing it the way you did. I really appreciate it, Jing. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining us tonight. So I will just pop in our Instagram handle in the chat. So if you haven't given us a follow, please do. And if you have any further questions, or you'd like to, if you haven't purchased the recording and you'd like to, you can always message us on Instagram. Also, if you like to have hear about more of these backstage Q&A and songs, or there's any other like amazing artists you want to see, please also drop us message. Yeah, thank you everyone, and thank you so much, Jonathan, for joining us.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. Bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
We should have a concert in Taiwan.